Welcome everybody. It's really great to see so many of you at this event, which is being hosted and put on by this is James from Our Family Wizard. If you haven't met him before, I just want to say on behalf of the FMC and Family Mediation, a huge thank you to James and Our Family Wizard for sponsoring Family Mediation Week this year. Just so that you're aware, because of their sponsorship, we were able to produce the mock mediation with paid actors, which was just so great, because if you've seen it, I hope you feel like I do, that it gave it a real life feel. So thank you for your sponsorship, James. If you haven't seen the mock mediation, I'm heavily plugging it all week. Please make sure that you do, and think about who you can share it with. If you think Elaine Richardson, who was super brave putting herself out there to do it, did a good job, message her and tell her. It's had nearly 700 views so far this week, which is amazing. One of the things we've always tried to do during Family Mediation Week is share resources that we can use with the families that we work with. So it's really great to have Our Family Wizard, aside from being our sponsors, putting on this webinar to explain all about their parenting app. So thank you, James. Thank you, Our Family Wizard.
Thank you, Anna. And I definitely want to reiterate that for those of you who haven't seen Elaine's recording, please do go and watch it. I'll actually be talking about Elaine today, as she's one of our testimonials. So she's a really, really wonderful mediator, and I do recommend you reaching out to her. For those of you who've just joined, thank you very much. I'm still letting people in as I speak. Please do. I really appreciate those who've kept your cameras on. Thank you. Just so I can see your lovely smiling faces. And please, can I ask you all to turn off your microphones just so that there's no background noise or no overflowing sound. There will be hopefully a few minutes at the end for questions, and Anna has kindly offered to help filter those through. So if you do have questions, please put them on the chat and Anna can look through those. I'm going to start off by sharing my screen. And Anna, can you please just confirm for me that you can see my slideshow there?
Yeah. Spot on.
Wonderful. Perfect. Thank you very much. Well, good morning, everyone. And thank you very much for joining me today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is James Evans. I am the UK representative and professional liaison for Our Family Wizard. Now, for those of you who don't know Our Family Wizard, we are a co-parenting communications app. We offer a place for parents to communicate during, before, or after the divorce and separation process. Now, the program actually started out in Minneapolis in America in 2001. So we're celebrating our 20th year anniversary this year. The program has been court-ordered in all 50 states of America, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. We built our UK separate version, our UK entity, about four and a half years ago. In that time, Our Family Wizard has been court-ordered in every city of the UK and is referred to every single day in some way or another in a family mediation and family law process. If you want to get a feel for how big Our Family Wizard out is in America, you can have a look online. We have millions of users. It's referenced every week in Desperate Housewives of New York. Believe it or not, there's a film on Netflix called Mile 22 starring Mark Wahlberg, where him and his ex-wife use Our Family Wizard in the film. That was not sponsored. We didn't pay them. They didn't pay us. We didn't even know they were going to do it. It's that big and synonymous with family law in America. That's where we're looking to get in the UK, and we are hopefully getting there in terms of our growth. As I said, we are now getting referred to every day in the UK. If there are any of you who know comedian Catherine Ryan, she does a wonderful podcast called Telling Everybody Everything, and she talks about Our Family Wizard in one of the most recent episodes with her friends using it in the UK, so please do check that out. I've let in another 5-10 people during that introduction, so for those of you joining, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. You're very, very welcome to keep your cameras on so I can see your lovely smiling faces, but please do mute your microphone just so we don't get any background sound. Now, I'm going to start off with a couple of quotes from some family law professionals that you may know or may have worked with. David Hodson. David sits as a Deputy District Judge in the Central Family Courts and has given me some fantastic insight into how Our Family Wizard looks and works within the UK judicial system. And it's really positive to hear him saying here that he can see Our Family Wizard being a major help to families across the UK. That is really positive for us. The other professional I'm going to mention here is Dr. Janine Brer. Now, some of you may know Dr. Brer. She's a leading child therapist and consultant clinical psychologist. She has worked on some of the highest profile cases in the country over the last few years and puts a lot of the families that she works with through the Our Family Wizard process. She talks about the benefits for the mental health for both professionals and practitioners and says that it promotes a win-win style of communication, both for the parents and the professionals. Hopefully, we're going to show you that today. Why texts and emails aren't enough. Now, I'm sure everyone listening is as familiar as I am with the plethora of different communication platforms that are out there, mainly WhatsApp, text, email, Facebook, Twitter, some of you nodding along, Instagram, TikTok. I think we're probably all too old for TikTok, but that's what some people are using these days on social media. There are so many different ways to communicate. Now, there's a few reasons why they don't quite work in terms of divorce and separation. First of all, there are so many. There are loads of different ways of communication and different ways to communicate. Thank you for those just joining. I've let in another 5 or 10 people. Thank you very much. Please, can I just ask you to mute your microphones just so we don't get any back feed? Thank you. As I said, you can communicate through text, email, WhatsApp. The problem there is there's so many different ways to communicate, it can really get lost in translation. One parent sends a text, the other one replies via email, they respond via Facebook. It gets lost, it gets confusing, and it gets lost. On top of that, it is very, very easy and quite scary as to how simple it is to manipulate that communication. I'm going to try and prove that to you now. Hopefully everyone on the call has access to the internet. If you're on your laptop or you've got your phone in your pocket, can you just get your phone out for me, or if you're on your internet, go on another tab and just go to Google for me. Just load up Google for me. And once you're on Google, if you could please just search in a phrase into Google, the following phrase, something like fake WhatsApp creator or fake text generator. Or if your mediation clients use email, fake email maker, something like that. Search that into Google for me. When you search that into Google, hundreds of thousands of websites will appear where you can make it look like someone sent you a message that they never did. The first one that comes up is usually fakeiMessage.com. For example, on fakeiMessage.com, you would put in on the website, on your phone or on your laptop, you would put in the phone number of which you would like to receive the message, so your phone number, the phone number of which you would like that message to come from, so your ex-partner's phone number, for example, and then you type the message you would like to receive. You press send on the website, and you then get that text on your phone, and they make it look like it was sent from your ex-partner. It is some of your facial expressions are, jaws on the floor. It is horrible. It is terrifying. It is nasty. It is malicious, but it is so easy to do, and it is completely free. So the next time your client brings you that printed off bundle of WhatsApps and say, yep, this is every WhatsApp I sent you, they could have actually just got a fake one offline and printed it and said, yeah, they sent that to me. They just deleted it. They don't have the evidence, and there's no way of tracking it. It is really, really difficult to prove that without spending a lot of money. So hopefully they don't need to do that anymore, because Our Family Wizard completely safeguards against that type of manipulation, and I'm going to show you how. We talk about the narrative. Now, this message you can see on screen is a real message that we got from one parent to another during our pilot project. We've changed the names for obvious security reasons, and it was out in America where this was sent. So it didn't say good morning, idiot, for example. It said something far worse, but I'm sure you get the general idea, and I'm sure you as mediators are more familiar with this type of message than I am. There is so much within this message that did not need to be said. Things that are there purely to offend and cause some sort of emotional damage to the other party. But there is a lot within this same message that did need to be said. Things that are there that the parents need to find ways to communicate about and move forward with. You haven't paid me yet. What's happening with swimming lessons? Can we trade a day? These are really important, and parents have to find ways to communicate about these things. But because it gets lost in amongst all the horrible, nasty stuff, it can take weeks, months, years to resolve. And actually, it's more than just that text than what they're trying to say. It takes more than that message to get to the creative narrative. By utilizing Our Family Wizard, this type of message doesn't need to happen anymore. And I'm going to show you how. Now, there are two different sides to Our Family Wizard. There is the parent side and there is the professional side. I'm going to start off by showing you our Family Wizard Parent and show you how it would look in action for parents. And then in the second half of the presentation this morning, I'm going to show you how this would look and work for you as professionals. Our Family Wizard can be downloaded as an app on your smartphone. The majority of our parents will choose to have the app on their phone. That is what most of them do. But it can be utilized online on any device. So your laptop, your iPad, your tablet, your desktop. If it has access to the internet, it can use our Family Wizard. It has all these same features, of which I'm going to talk you through individually, and they can be accessed universally throughout their account. So this is what the parents will see when they first log in. This is the homepage for the parents. Now we've created a fake family, if you like, a demo family for the sake of this tutorial to show you how it would look and work in action. We have Emma in purple here on the left. We'll say that's mum. Sam in blue will say that's dad. Now they're the only people who are paying to use our Family Wizard. A subscription costs £79 per parent per year. They pay once at the start of the year, and then it is an annual resubscription. However, if the parents cannot afford that, if you do any pro bono work, if the parents are on government benefits, welfare, legal aid, universal credit, some sort of financial hardship, then they can use our Family Wizard for free through what is called our financial hardship application form. Now, I'm going to talk you through that form in much more detail later on. For now, we have Emma and Sam. They are the parents in our Family Wizard. Now, every single time they log in, whether it's on their phone, their laptop, wherever it may be, it will leave a date and time underneath their name, as you can see here. That date and time is the last time that they have logged in. And that date and time, that cannot be changed, it cannot be edited, it cannot be deleted. It is always permanently there. Unlike any other platform in the world, they do not have the choice to turn it on and off. That timestamp of when they've last logged in is always accurate. We then have Neil in green. Now, Neil, believe it or not, is the child in this family. I don't know how many people are calling their children Neil these days, but that's the name we've gone with. Now, Neil in green as the child can have a free child account. It's called a child account. It's always free, and it has the extremely reduced access. The child can only send and receive messages to parents that they have been given access to, and they can only see events in the calendar that are in relation to them. So who's picking them up from school, who's dropping them off. That is it. The child cannot see what mum and dad are saying to each other. They cannot see the money going back and forth. It is there purely for the child's reference. Realistically, we have 10-year-old children who are better on their phones than us these days. If technology is going to be used in some capacity, the child should be able to as well if the parents want, but in a safe, monitored, filtered environment. So that's what the child account is. The last person we have here in orange is Tula. Now, Tula is what's called a third-party account. Again, these are free. They have the same reduced access as a child account, and this could be anyone in the family here. Tula could be grandma, dog walker, babysitter, nanny, guardian, school safeguarding officer, new girlfriend. If they're involved in the child's life in some capacity, the parents can add them as third parties and let them know how much access they can and cannot have. It is up to the parents. Now, notifications are displayed on the home page, and there's a variety of different ways for the notifications to be personalized. As I said, most parents will choose the app on their phone, where they will have drop-down notifications like WhatsApp or any other app. The difference is with our Family Wizard, you are immediately reminded of any active notifications straight away on the homepage. It's the first thing they'll see. So if they open up our Family Wizard, it will tell them you have 4 unread messages in your inbox. Now, they can't call you up and say, oh, I don't remember getting that notification, or I don't think I ever got that notification, actually. You can say to them, well, you logged in on this date at this time where you were told immediately you have 4 unread messages. The only way to remove that notification from the homepage is to actually read the message. So they can't lie to you, they can't pretend, they can't hide. The information is always true and secure within our Family Wizard. As I said, it can be downloaded as an app on any format that you can think of. Parents can use the little button at the top left there to shortcut to jump to any of our main features, of which I'm going to talk you through shortly. And they also have access to their own account information at the top right there. Now, rest assured, parents cannot see each other's account information. That is there purely for their own reference. This is things like phone number, email address, that kind of thing. And that is there for security reasons. If a parent calls us up and says, "I forgot my password, can you just remind me what it is?" We need to make sure we're talking to the right parent before disclosing that information. So that's all it is. But rest assured, parents do not have access to each other's account information. The first feature I'm going to talk you through today is our message board. Now, we like to think of our message board as a slightly more informal version of email, but a familiar format when sending those messages is necessary. The main difference from email is the timestamping. Who sent that message, on what date at what time, and crucially, who first read that message, on what date at what time. And unlike any other platform in the world, that date and time cannot be changed, cannot be edited, cannot be deleted. They do not have the option to turn it on and off. It is always there, it is always true, and it is always accurate. When the parents are writing a message, it looks like this. Now, this is one of our unique features to our Family Wizard. It is called Tone Meter. Tone Meter is like a spell check for your emotions. So when one parent is writing a message to another on our Family Wizard, it will alert them as they're writing of any language they've written that might potentially cause some sort of emotional damage or do some harm. So the example we have here, one parent was writing a message to the other, and whilst they were writing, Tone Meter flagged to them and said, "The phrase you've just written here, I know you'll say it's not your fault." Tone Meter has flagged that and said that phrase could potentially be read as aggressive by a recipient parent. Don't be late as usual. That could be humiliating. Can you at least manage that? That could be upsetting. It picks up on the tone of the phrase. Now, the recipient parent does not then receive a notification saying, "You've just received an aggressive message." It doesn't alert them that Tone Meter was used. It does not stop them from sending the message, as it already is. And it does not offer them an alternative phrase to change it into something else. It just gives them an initial opportunity to think about what they've written before then choosing whether or not to send it. Tone Meter costs £8 a year on top of the initial £79 subscription. Most parents, when they subscribe, choose package A. Package A is 1 year subscription, 1 year's Tone Meter, and 5 gigabytes of storage for £99. That is it. There are no other add-ons. There are no in-app purchases. Our prices have been fixed since 2001. We are not going to change them. What that means is when the parents subscribe on their first day of using our Family Wizard, they are made aware of how much money they need to spend for the whole year, and that is it. They don't need to worry about money for the whole year. It should give them a real ease of mind. Tone Meter works as an algorithm, so it picks up on the tone of the phrase rather than just a bad word. We like to swear here in the UK. If you write a sentence with a swear word in, but it's a positive sentence, Tone Meter won't flag it. It will know that as a phrase, it is positive. But if you then go and use that same swear word in a negative sentence, right in your next phrase, it will flag it. It will know that as a sentence, it's negative. It is patented technology. Our Family Wizard own Tone Meter exclusively, and we have seen it help a lot of families over the years. Parents can organize their messages in the normal ways that you would expect, like email. They have an inbox, they have sent messages. Now they do have a trash. Parents can send messages from the inbox to the trash. However, all messages within the system, including those in the trash, are permanently stored in this all correspondence folder here. What that means is if they get a message that they want to pretend like they didn't get and they try and send it to the trash, it will move from the inbox to the trash, but it will also be moved to the all correspondence folder where it is permanently stored and cannot be removed. So they cannot delete anything that they've received and they cannot delete anything that they've sent, which means all their communication is true. And it means that we are promoting and saying to them, the only way to move forward here is a better, healthy way to communicate. From here, you, as the mediator, as the legal representative, or the parents themselves, can turn this information into court admissible reports. These are free. You will never have to pay to make these reports. There is also no limit on the amount of reports that you can make. If you wanted to make a report of every single message in the system, you could do that. If you wanted to make a report of just one message in the system, you can do that too. If the parents are going to court because they're arguing about holidays, for example, you could search the word holidays into the calendar and then make a report of all those messages. It is completely up to you. It's marked nice and clearly within these reports who sent the message, on what date at what time, who first viewed it, and it will also say nice and clearly at the top who generated this report, on what date at what time, so that you know it's true up to a certain point. These reports are accepted in every court in the UK, and we see them printed, PDF'd, emailed. We see hundreds of them done every day. The next feature I'm going to talk you through is our shared calendar. Now, again, it's color-coded, so we know that in this particular example, purple is in reference to mum, blue is in reference to dad. Now, you can see within the main view of the calendar, there's a lot going on there, and I'll talk you through what's going on. But at the top left here, we have these colored blocks for the month. These colored blocks correspond the overnight stays for those parents for that month, and I'm going to show you how to set all of that up now. Now, when the parents first subscribe, they will go through a process of putting in a parenting schedule. Now, we are very aware of the fact that no two sets of parents are going to have the same schedule. Everyone is different, life changes, everyone has to be flexible. So we make this really simple and open for the parents to create. You can also create these for your parents from your professional account as well. And I'm going to show you how to do that later on. What you will do is input which parent is taking responsibility of the time spent with the child, and then they put in the times of when that changeover happens. This then acts as a backbone in the calendar where parents can make different events as they go. They can put in whatever schedule they need, and they can put this in for as long as they like. Now, if you're working with parents who've been using, who know their schedule, they've been doing it for years, they can put in that parenting schedule and put that in for 6 months, a year, whatever they need. However, if they're new to this and they want to try out different schedules, you could put it in for a shorter amount of time. The example we have here, a 2-week interval. So they could try it out for 2 weeks, see how it goes, and then reevaluate after that. Completely up to you. Parents can make large-scale amendments to the calendar through our holiday feature. We have some common ones there, but if you put in a new custom one, put in the date and time of which parent is taking responsibility of the child, you can then view that year ahead. And again, it's color-coded, so we know which parent is taking responsibility of the time as the overnight stay. Now, a parent cannot do anything within the calendar without it being recorded. So if one parent goes in and puts in a new holiday and the other parent doesn't like that, we will record which parent uploaded that holiday information. Furthermore, if they go in and then delete that holiday, we will have record of that parent deleting it too. So they cannot put in something to try and annoy the other parent and then delete it because they've remembered they'll be seen. Everything is recorded, so the only way they can use it is in a positive, healthy way. Now, of course, as I said, life changes. Parents are not going to be able to strictly stick to these regimented schedules. They have to be flexible. So we allow parents the opportunity to make one-time events that live on top of that parenting schedule in the calendar. The example we have here is a birthday party for the child's friend, Peter. You can see clearly here that 6 p.m. is purple. That means mum is doing the drop-off. 9 p.m. is blue. That means dad is doing the pickup. They've written a little note to say what this event is for, and importantly, it's been marked as which parents created this event on what date at what time. What that means, so in this example, it was mum. What that means is mum and only mum can log in and edit or delete this event. However, as I said before, anytime she touches it, if she edits the time, if she changes the drop-off, it will be recorded. If she deletes it, it will be recorded. So they cannot put anything in the calendar in without it being recorded. Parents have the opportunity to get even more detailed here through our time swap request feature. This is optional, and if the parents are happy to put in the parenting schedule and then those one-time events on top, they're welcome to do so. But the time swap feature allows them to get that section more detailed if they need. I'm going to give you a practical example of when someone might use this time swap feature. Let's say, for example, dad wants to spend time with the child on Saturday, which is one of mum's allocated days. Through the time swap feature, dad can say to mum, okay, if I spend time with the child on Saturday, one of your days, you could spend time with the child after school Tuesday, which is one of my days. That's essentially what we're doing here. These requests have to be at least 48 hours before the event happens, so they can't randomly suddenly spring it on them, and they have to write a little reason as to what this is for, and that is covered by Tone Meter. They can put in a response by date, so if they urgently need to know if that parent can do it, they can say this needs to be responded within 2 weeks or something like that. They put in which parent is taking responsibility of the child, on what date at what time, and if it is a swap, when is the alternative time being offered. The recipient parent will then receive this with 3 options. Now, if they click on approve, it will automatically change everything in the calendar for them. They don't have to go through and spend hours manually doing it themselves. Refuse. Keep in mind, if you've got one parent that is refusing these requests, refusing events, refusing requests, they will always be recorded. So if that's why your parents are arguing, or if that's why they're going to court, he's not being flexible, she's not cooperating, this is a really good way of evidencing it. The last option here, refuse and make an offer, which is like saying, yes, I'm fine for you to have the child on Saturday, as you suggested, but I can't do after school on Tuesday, as you suggested. Could I do after school Thursday? Once approved, it will do it all in the calendar for them. It saves them time and it makes things nice and clear and easy for them. As before, with our other features, everything is recorded. I keep stating it, everything is recorded. Which parent, on what date, at what time, and what have they done? And as before, we can turn this into court admissible reports. If they click that little document button at the top, and they can then put in the date and time period of which they would like these reports made, and they will say nice and clearly what has happened. It will say in bold what has happened on each event. So for example, here, this one was approved. This one was not answered by the deadline, and so on. And as before, it will state nice and clearly at the top who generated this report on what date at what time. If you do have any questions about this, please pop them in the chat and we will try and answer them at the end. The next feature I'm going to talk you through is our journal. Now, we have newly updated the journal. Well, we updated it in 2020 in light of everything that has gone on with COVID and lockdown and parents trying to adapt to a new way of co-parenting. So we've introduced a series of new features in the hope that we're going to be able to help these parents. The first of those is called Moments. Now, Moments works as an isolated social media for the family involved in that Our Family Wizard account. Now, I'm going to give you the example that's on screen here. Mum has gone for a walk with grandma and the child and wants to share some pictures. Lovely. Now, when Mum uploads those pictures, she will choose who can and who cannot see those pictures. It is completely up to Mum. So she could choose to share them with just the child, just grandma, just dad. She could share it with all of them, or indeed none of them, and have it there just for her own personal reference. It will say nice and clearly at the bottom who created this post, on what date at what time, and if someone has been given permission to see it, when did they first view it, on what date at what time. Now, what they cannot do, unlike social media, they cannot like, they can't comment, they can't share, they can't link this in with any of their other social media platforms. They can only post this exclusively on Our Family Wizard. Now, we were getting so much feedback about parents being toxic on social media. I'm sure all of you are more familiar with this than I am, but parents putting big old posts on Facebook and Instagram and trying to annoy the other parent by doing that. By using the Moments feature in the journal, they can still share these pictures and still update each other with these lovely moments, taking away the toxicity of social media. They can upload videos in this section as well. And a question I'm often asked at this stage is, can we record phone calls, actual voice phone calls? And the answer to that is no. And that's unfortunately because the technology isn't there. If any of you have ever tried recording a Zoom audio and watched it back, it's about 60% accurate. Unfortunately, that's not good enough. Unless it's 100% accurate, we're not going to be able to do it. So what we allow parents to do within the Moments is they can record a voice note. So instead of having to call each other, they can send voice notes back and forth on the Moment feature. That's what we recommend. We have seen the Moments used more than ever in recent months, as I'm sure you can imagine with lockdown. The other feature we've introduced in the last 18 months is called the check-in feature. Again, it's one of the most utilized features we're seeing at the moment because of lockdown. What check-ins allow you to do is essentially prove that you were in the right place at the right time. So the example we have here, Dad is waiting to meet Mum at 6:15. Now at 6:15, Dad logs into Our Family Wizard, he goes into the journal, and he can actually drop a pin on his map of his precise location and timestamp it. Now Dad has to physically be there. He can't move the pin to where he's meant to be and then drop it whilst he's at home. He has to physically be there. This does not then open a tracking system. Parents cannot log in and see where that parent is 3 days later by clicking on the map. it does not do that. It essentially takes a screenshot of the map and proves they were in the right place at the right time. This is a fully GDPR compliant system. We've seen it court ordered more than any of our other features in recent months. We've seen it help a lot of families, as I'm sure you can all imagine, parents adapting to new COVID neutral locations or contact centers, or they're doing the drop off at a neutral pet or a neutral party, something like that. It's a really helpful way to say, yep, here I was at the right place at the right time. Furthermore, if that's something they're arguing about or they're lying about, he's always late to the drop-off. No, she's always early. This is your way of proving it. The last thing that parents can do within the moments is upload a written entry. The example we have here, mum has done a sort of diary of what she's done with the child that day. Now, you can also see here that mum has made this private. Now, what that means is only mum will be able to see this journal, see this diary entry in the journal. So like social media, everyone's access in the journal is different, but unlike social media, it is not public and it cannot be toxic because they are only promoting healthy ways of communicating through this system. Of course, we can make reports of these as well. If a parent was to click on those three little dots at the top left there, click on generate reports, put in the dates and times, they can then make those reports. Again, being used more than ever in recent months. The next feature the parents have access to is the Infobank. Now, this is a really large section of the program. I'm not going to talk you through each of these aspects individually, but I will give you some highlights. The Infobank is a place to store vital information about the family involved in that account. So let's look at family vitals. In here, we have birthday, eye color, shoe size, height, weight, that nitty gritty detailed little information that parents often bicker about and can't ask each other about because it's too difficult or too complicated. It's all nicely, safely secured in this one place, in this one location. You can see that up next to each entry, there is a little red dot and a little pencil. What that means is whichever parent uploaded that piece of information, only that parent can edit or delete it. But you know what I'm going to say. If they choose to edit or delete that information, it will be recorded. We will know that that parent has done that. So the only way to use this is by using it properly, because that is the only option they have. Health is another important one to mention, of course, with everything that is going on at the moment. Medication, allergies, prescriptions, insurance, test results, they can all nicely, safely be secured in one place, really putting the parents' ease of mind. The last part of the Infobank that's worth highlighting here is My Files. Now, My Files is a place to store physical documents within the system. Some of the most popular ones we're seeing at the moment are things like schoolwork, homework, school reports. If there's a receipt, they can upload a picture of that. If there's a medication, if there's a prescription, they can put that in here too. If there's a particular court order that the parents are needing to oblige to, they can scan that and upload it into our Family Wizard, into the My Files, so that they have a reference point. That could be useful too. Lots of different ways. Now, when the parents get their £79 base subscription, they get 1 gigabyte of data each. Trust me, that is enough. That is more than enough. That is so much storage. If for some reason the parents want more data, they can buy it off us. It doesn't cost much, but 99% of parents do not need any more storage. Unless they're filmmakers and they've chosen our Family Wizard as their place to share film documents, I don't see it being a problem. Most parents, as I said at the start, will choose package A, which is 1 year subscription, 1 year's tone meter, and 5 gigabytes of data. So it's something that they don't need to worry about anyway. It is marked nice and clearly within the My Files by the color which parent has uploaded that document, and they have a little option to say what type of document it is. This one here is an expense, which leads me nicely on to our last feature available to the parents, which is the expense log. Now, this is a place to track reimbursements that have been made towards the child. Again, it's color coded, so we know that in this particular example, purple is in reference to one of mum's payments, blue is one of dad's, and it automatically accumulates at the bottom there who's paid what towards the child since using our Family Wizard. Now, I'll show you how this would work in action. In the example we have here, one parent has paid for the child's guitar lessons and is asking for 50% of that reimbursed. So they would go about it by filling out this form you see on screen here. They would say the type, the title, the amount, the category. That category 50-50 is just an example. Parents can upload a different percentage split and input that there. The date of the purchase, the child this was for, a receipt, and whether it's private. Now, if a parent wants to store a payment that they've made and they don't need to have the other parent know about it, they can upload it privately. But if they are requesting a reimbursement, it has to be kept public. In terms of those receipts, if they're doing this there and then with the receipts right in front of them, they can take a photo of the receipt right then, or they can choose a photo of the receipt that they already have on the phone. All those photos of receipts will automatically get stored in the My Files section of the information bank, so they don't have to go through and manually upload it themselves. The recipient parent will then receive this with a breakdown of what's been paid and what they owe, and the same buttons as all our other features, approve and refuse. You know what I'm going to say. If they refuse, it is marked and recorded. If they approve, it becomes pending, whereby they then go and do their normal method of payment. They don't have to worry about learning a new payment system. They go do bank transfer, PayPal, check, whatever they're using. Once that money is in that parent's account, they come back into our Family Wizard, confirm that the status of this one is closed, and then they are finished with it. Of course, we can make reports of these as well. They are far more detailed here. We've got statistical reports, transactional, chronological, whatever the parents need. These can be turned into court admissible reports as well. So coming back to this particularly nasty message, we would like to hope that the horrible things didn't need to be said, but actually this entire message, which is often the first hurdle, the first blocking point for these parents, it doesn't need to be sent anymore. You haven't paid me yet. Right, you go to the expense log where you put in that request for reimbursement. What's happening with swimming lessons? Can we figure that out? You go to the calendar and you put in a new event. I'm picking up the kids from the dentist on the 6th. Can we trade a day? You go to the calendar and you put in a time swap request feature. So by utilizing all the features within our Family Wizard, we are promoting a win-win healthy communication style. On average, families use our Family Wizard for between 3 and 5 years. However, we have families who've used it for over 15 years. There is no right or wrong length of time. We see ourselves as the bridge in that communication. So that is the parent side of our Family Wizard. The other side is practitioner accounts, professional access. Now, this is what you listening will be able to use. This is free. You will never ever have to pay to use your professional account. It is also optional. If you want to say to your mediation clients, here's our Family Wizard, it's brilliant, it's going to help you, off you go, you're more than welcome to do so. But there are some really good benefits of having a professional account if it is appropriate for that case. The first of those is being able to control your inbox. If you're currently being CC'd into 100 emails a week with screenshots of WhatsApp saying, he said this, she said that, can you believe it? Some of you nodding along, I'm sure you're familiar with that. You can say to the parents, don't worry, I'm checking our Family Wizard every day. I know exactly what's going on. Now, of course, you don't have to check our Family Wizard every day. Parents do not get notified when you're online. They do not get a report of what you have and have not seen. It is completely up to you as and when and what you check on our Family Wizard. You can see the whole picture. If one of them is calling you up and saying, we agreed a 2 o'clock pickup time, and the other one calls you up and says, no, we agreed a 3 o'clock pickup time, you can now log in and see, one, what pickup time was actually agreed and which of those parents was telling you the truth. The other end of this is being able to provide support. You can have as much involvement as you like. You can help them create events in the calendar. You can help them input info into the Infobank. It is completely up to you how much or how little involvement you have from your professional account. And the last thing you can do, all those reports that you saw throughout, you can create these from within your professional account as well. There are 2 different apps. There is OFW, which is a plain white app. That is for the parents. There is OFW Practitioner, which is the little blue icon app that you see on screen here. That is for you as professionals. As I said, it is free to use. You click sign up, you put in your name and your email address, you get an email with the username and a password. Off you go. It is that simple. From there, you can have as many cases as you like from within your one professional account. That's great. It means you don't need a different password for every family you work with. You also have the opportunity here to add a client. Now, if you click on that Add Client button, it gives you 2 options: create a new family or link to an existing one. Now, if you're sitting in mediation and you've got your 2 parents in front of you and you've spent a bit of time talking through our Family Wizard and they say to you, yep, sounds good, we're in, how do we get going? They can go online and subscribe themselves, or you can get the ball rolling for them from within your professional account. And that comes with a couple of neat perks. If you were creating a professional account, you would fill in the information, creating a family account, you would fill in the information you see on screen here. First, last name, and email and phone number of both parents. You would then tick which ones you do and do not want professional access to. Now, a lot of solicitors who use our Family Wizard will only have access to one parent, so they would only tick one, but most of you within mediation will have access to both, so you can tick both. By setting this up, the parents then get an email saying, your professional Mrs. Smith has created you an Our Family Wizard account. In that email is a username and a password, and in that username and password is 2 free sessions. What that means is the parents can log in twice for free to play around, have a go, see what it's like before being prompted to pay and subscribe. Within 30 days of paying and subscribing, if they don't want to use that account anymore, they will get their money back guaranteed, no questions asked. So they have a sort of 32-day trial, if you like. The other option here is linking to an existing family. Same form that you see on screen here. Let's say you spoke to a mediation couple 3 months ago and they started using our Family Wizard 3 months ago, and 3 months down the line they call you up and say it's going really well, it's really helping with our communication, but we're struggling with the Infobank, for example. Could you give us a hand? You would need to link to their existing accounts. Exact same information that you fill out. They then get, you press save, they then get an email and a notification saying your professional Mrs. Smith has requested professional access to your account. They then have to grant it to you before you can overview their activity. So what that means is you can't randomly suddenly appear in a couple's accounts without them knowing. They have to give you access. We also offer bulk pricing. Now, if you see 60 mediation clients per year and you want most of them to go on our Family Wizard, you can order a bulk package. What that means is it comes at an extremely reduced rate, and you give codes to the parents and it costs less for them. And they come in packs of 10, and the more you get, the cheaper it is. If you'd like to know more about that, email me, I can send you details. Once you have access to your client's account, you would click on My Cases, select the family who you'd like to look at, and then choose the parent. Once you've chosen the parent, you enter what is called Client View Mode. From here, you can now see absolutely everything the same as what that parent can see, but you are not interfering with the data, meaning you're not changing the timestamping. You're not changing the last time they read a message. You're in a ghost mode, if you like, a bird's eye view, but it allows you to see what you need, when you need to, create those reports, and gives you complete discretion and gives you a lot more control over this couple. Parents have access to their own IP address history. I'm going to re-say that again. Parents have access to their own IP address history. They cannot see each other's. This is here essentially to safeguard the parents. If they call you up and saying, I really don't remember sending that message, or I don't think it was me who accepted that event request, instead of you guys having to sift through hours of emails and WhatsApps and try and figure it out, you can just say to the parent, go and check your IP address history, see the date and time and when it was meant to happen. Oh, that was my laptop, that was my phone. This is here as a reminder to the parents that what they're doing is recorded for their security. Now, security is by far and away the most important aspect of our Family Wizard. It is the reason we've been going for so long and why we are the #1 co-parenting app in the world. Our parent company in America is called Atomic Data. They make the security for the online banks in America. We are extremely proud to say that in our 20 years of existence, we have never, ever been hacked. No one has ever hacked our Family Wizard. You saw at the start when we were Googling those phrases just how easy it is to manipulate this communication. Not only do we need to be on top of that, we need to preempt what's coming next. We need to foresee what the next advancement is going to be in communication technology and safeguard against that. Most of that £79 goes back into our security and development team. They are the biggest team within our Family Wizard. We are fully GDPR compliant. We will never, ever sell or share yours or your client's data. You know, when you get a phone call from someone saying, you've been involved in an accident and we've got money for you, just call this number. What that means is you've given your data to someone. So by logging into a website or logging into Facebook, for example, they will sell your data and this company will buy it so that they can call you and try and fraud you. We will never sell or share your data with anyone else in the world. That is only kept for you securely on our servers. Now, I mentioned at the start that we've been audited in court, and we actually provide a language to do this. Now, we've seen Our Family Wizard ordered in such a variety of different ways. Often the judge themselves will order this directly in court, and the families will be directly ordered to use it. However, we've seen this implemented in lots of different ways. For example, a lot of mediators will type up their version of this and informally ask the parents to sign it as an agreement on how they're going to use Our Family Wizard. This is, of course, optional, but we have seen it helped a lot of families. This was written for us by His Honour Judge Martin Dancy as part of the Children Act's update of 2020. I'm going to give you a couple of brief highlights that Judge Dancy has put in this order. The first of those is providing a deadline. He stated that both parties will subscribe within 10 days of this order. Now, that's useful for a couple of reasons. First of all, it gets the ball rolling, it gets them using it quickly. And second of all, if you've got one parent who's really keen to use Our Family Wizard and one who's maybe less keen, this is your way of saying to them, you will both communicate through Our Family Wizard going forward. You can go on to provide exclusive communication. If your clients are currently using text, email, and Facebook, for example, you can say to them, carry on using those communication methods, fine, but if you are going to communicate about the child or the child arrangements, it happens exclusively within Our Family Wizard. You can then get nice and detailed on how they're going to use particular features. For example, all payments will be recorded in the expense log. If you know that's important to your parent, that's what you can put in here. Furthermore, you can put a limit on the messaging. If one parent is harassing the other, if there's a non-contact order or something like that, you can stipulate on how they're going to use the message board. Recent examples I've seen are things like parent A will only send 10 messages a week on the message board, or parent A will not send messages that are longer than 30 words long on the message board. Parent A will not send a message if tone meter was flagged. You will always know these families better than us, and that is why we provide this as a template for you to get specific where you need. The last thing you can do is put yourself in the order. So if it's particularly important for you to have professional access, you can do so and just say the parents will accept you when you ask for it. If you would like a Word document version of this order, please email me and I can send that to you. I'm going to be showing you my email address at the end, so take a note. I can send you a Word document version that you can rewrite and play around and have a go with. I'm pretty sure our digital resource kit has been uploaded to the Family Mediation Week website as well, and there's a copy of it there too. The other document I'm going to show you, which is also included in that resource kit, is our financial hardship application form. Now, I discussed this right at the start. This is how families can get free accounts. Now, we're looking exclusively on the document on the left here. This document can be downloaded from our website by parents for free. For parents, there's two different ways to do this. The parents themselves can apply. They would fill out steps 1 and 2 of this document. They would then email it to our info@ourfamilywizard.com team with an attachment, some sort of government document, letterhead, proof that they're on low income or welfare. They will then get 1 year's free account. After 11 months, they'll get an email saying your account is about to expire. Would you like to resubscribe? They can then resubscribe through this financial hardship application form for as many years as they like. There is no limit on the amount of free years they can have. The other option here is you, as the legal representative, as their mediator, can apply for them. You would fill out steps 1 and 3 of this document on the left, email it to us, but this time you don't need to send an attachment. We will always trust you. We'll always take your word for it. So if you're working with a couple and you know they're on low income, but they don't necessarily have something to evidence it, you can apply for them. We also offer 2 for 1 on any active or retired members of the armed forces. So if they have worked or are working in the military, they will get a 2 for 1 account guaranteed. We've got some nice stats here for you about how many of these free accounts we've given out over recent years. People often ask me at this stage, James, are these government paid for accounts? Do you get a big tax break because you do these free accounts? No, absolutely not. We do these because divorce and separation is not exclusive to people who can afford it. If Our Family Wizard is going to help a family, money should not stop that. I'm not on commission. I don't get paid based on how many people use the program. I was a teacher for 5 years. I'm in a very similar boat to you guys. I want to help where I can. So please go for it. Go for as many of these free accounts as you need. We have a few quick, I've got an eye on the time. We've got a few quick case studies that I'm going to show you. These are all examples of how Our Family Wizard has been ordered in court in the UK. A question I'm also often asked at this stage is, can Our Family Wizard be made as a contact activity direction or an activity condition order? And the answer to that is both. We've got examples of all of those. We've changed all the names here for obvious security reasons. In the case of AVB in January earlier this year in front of Her Honour Judge McFadden, the judge outlined the case, stated that the communication with each other has been poor and this has to improve for the child's sake. Now, this was a really child-focused case and they were the #1 priority, as should always be the way. They stated that it was the potential conflicts which may cause the harm. It's interesting, it wasn't necessarily the act of separation that was doing the damage to the child, it was the arguments off the back of it that were causing the problems. Now, in this particular example, the judge directly ordered the parties to use Our Family Wizard to communicate and said that they expect each party to contact through this medium only. So it's a really good example of a formal, strict, direct order. The next case of BB of February in 2020 in front of Sir William Bilac, again, the judge outlined the case, stated that communication was poor and Our Family Wizard might help with breaking up those gaps between contacts. He stated that the damage to the child was being caused by the arguments to the parents. A striking similarity to our first case, it wasn't the act of separation that was doing the damage, it was the arguments that were resulting from the separation that was mainly harming the child. And they went on to say that it was that if they couldn't find a resolution, they will all be losers. Not just the courts, not just the child, not just families, everyone. In this example, the parties were encouraged to use Our Family Wizard, but we like here how specific the judges got on how they're going to use it. Once weekly, in those weeks where there is no direct or indirect contact. A really nice example of a condition order. Excuse me. The last one here is a care proceedings in the case of GG and HH in the height of lockdown this year. Now, in this particular case, the guardian was the person who brought to the attention of the courts Our Family Wizard, and they said they'd seen it before and it's promoted healthy relationships in mind. Now, this is perfectly summed up by Judge McRae here, who says that Our Family Wizard would prevent the sending of aggressive messages and ensure the participants work together to agree a calendar for the children and exchange messages in respect of their needs. Couldn't sum it up better ourselves. We have a few practitioner testimonials for you here. Now, there is a full list of these on our website, and we really do encourage you to have a look at them, because if there's a professional that you know that you've come across or you've worked with in the past, or they're their opinion that you trust, have a look and see if you know them, see if they're on our testimonial page and reach out to them, because it's always better hearing it directly from people who've used Our Family Wizard. They'll give you a first-hand experience. But we do have 4 for you to show you here. Mena Ruparul, Mena, some of you may know, I know Elaine listening will know too. She's recently co-chairing the head of the Family Law Committee with Elaine, who is also listed here as one of our testimonials within the Law Society and has had some great experience with the programme. Edward Cook, who I saw yesterday as well. Hi, Edward, if you're here. A fantastic solicitor mediator collaborative lawyer, some great insights there. Alyssa da Costa Waldman has given me some wonderful insights within her role as a barrister and how it's looked and worked within the courts. And Elaine, of course, who I know is listening today and who did the wonderful pre-recorded mock mediation that I do encourage all of you to look at. She's given us a great testimonial, and it's actually one that was happened during lockdown. It's a really, really insightful testimonial. So thank you for that, Elaine. As I said, more of these on our website. If you're listening to this and you've been using Our Family Wizard for years and you know, you've had great success with it, please, we're always really appreciative of any words you can share with us. There's a link to doing this on our website, but email me. The more of these testimonials we can get, the better we can grow our program. So thank you for those. We work really closely with Resolution, as I know a lot of you do too, and we've been really pleased to sponsor and work at a lot of their regional and national events. They've given us this lovely quote that they've given on our behalf, and they've stated that tools like Our Family Wizard encourage parents to have more amicable communication, putting the focus on the child. And now, if that is one thing to take away from today, our message is the same as Resolution's, and I know it's the same as all of yours. The child should be the focus every single time. It's so important to me, to Our Family Wizard, and to all what we're doing here. So that is one thing to take away. Our Family Wizard is fully available in Spanish. That's mostly for our friends out in the States. We're available in 3 languages at the moment: US English, UK English, and Spanish. We're building it in more languages. That takes time, it takes resources. Our next language will be French. We're hoping that'll be out later this year. But we need to make sure that when we interpret Our Family Wizard, we interpret it for the law of that country as well. So we're working on that. In the meantime, if you've got mediation clients, and one of them is in England and the other one is in let's say Hong Kong, for example, they can go to Mi Cuenta, My Account, and they can change their location to Hong Kong, and that all the timestamps will then be relevant to Hong Kong time. So that's what we've done in the interim. Now, this is all well and good. You're all sitting there thinking, James, this is wonderful. You spent 45 minutes explaining this in immaculate detail. I now have a perfect understanding of it. But what about the parents? there is a wealth of knowledge available to the parents. On our website, there is a written and video tutorial for everything that you have just seen, tailored for the parents. There is an FAQ, there is a tips and tricks. We have parent brochures that I can post you or I can send you digital copies of. There is so much help for them out there. However, if they ever need any more help, they can call this number for free 7 days a week and speak to our dedicated customer support team. They will talk them through anything that you could possibly imagine and help them with every aspect of customer support. The only thing, excuse me, they won't do is provide legal advice. We don't give any legal advice, but we can help them with every aspect of our Family Wizard. They can email or call for free anytime. Now, if you're sitting here thinking, this sounds great, I actually have a particular couple in mind this would be quite useful for. Good news. Each of you individually are entitled to one complimentary family account. Now, that is each of you individually, not you and your team. That is every single one of you. And you can activate this anytime. So if the right family comes along tomorrow, great. If the right family doesn't come along for a year, absolutely fine. You email me anytime. Now, this is for you to see the benefits of our Family Wizard. So if you've got 4 or 5 families in mind you think we would be able to help, go with the family with the highest conflict, those who are struggling the most with direct communication. You'll see the biggest benefits of them. In order to activate this account, you would email me. That is my email address there. I would need the first and last name of both parents, the email address of both, and the phone number and postal address of, I usually say at this stage, your clients, but most of you work with both, so I'll need both. And I then personally create those accounts. They're free for 1 year. At the same time, if you'd like, I can create you a professional account and link you in with those clients as well. But that is, of course, optional. So as I said, email me anytime with that. If you ever have any questions, that is my personal phone number. That is my email address. Email me. My job title for our Family Wizard is Professional Liaison. I am here to help you exclusively. So if you ever need any help in any way, shape or form, contact me. If you'd like me to give you a hand setting up an account, let me know. If you're, we do this more and more often now, if you're in court, if you're at a live hearing and the judge and the other party want to know more or want to set up the account there and then, we can do that. So please email me. If you work within a team or if you're with part of a group that you'd like them to find out more, let me know and I'll do this presentation.
The phone number is 077
whilst we hear Claire's phone number, that is it for the slides. I know that is exactly 12 o'clock, so that's exactly the hour. I appreciate some of you, I know exactly how busy all of you are, so thank you so much for giving your time up today to hear our talk. As I said, any questions, email me anytime. I appreciate it's past 12. Anna, were there any questions? Were there any sections you would like me to go over?
Some thanks, and then one question from Jill. Do both parents have to agree for a third party to be added to an account?
No, so that's a good question. So parents can add third parties separately from each other, but it's up to both parents as to what they're going to see. So let's say dad wants to add his new girlfriend and mum doesn't want new girlfriend's involvement in any way, shape or form. Dad can add new girlfriend, but she won't have access to anything that mum doesn't want her to. So let's say dad is picking up the child, but it's actually the new girlfriend doing it. He could have the new girlfriend in our Family Wizard so she can make sure she knows what she's doing, but mum won't see that. Mum won't need to know that. Mum cannot message her. Mum can, the new girlfriend can't see mum and dad's messages. So the access is extremely limited if only one parent adds a third party account, but it is an option. Any more questions, email me, call me anytime. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Family Mediation Week, for having us. I've really appreciated your time today. And I look forward to setting all of your family accounts up soon.